Hello again. Just watching the footy. Cats ahead of Port Adelaide. PA. Um, I felt today that my ideas were getting pinched again off social media, like for this fair payment idea I had. Well, it's not an idea, it's more, I noticed the gap that was there, that was growing, and I thought, no, that's not right. There shouldn't be that gap, like when I was up in Sydney, it was really clear. I could see it really well, I started out sort of noticing, I used to watch people's number plates. I sort of noticed where people went, and I sort of started to get an idea, a map of where sort of people were sort of doing, what people were up to. Not right in their business, just on a superficial level. Just noticing people in the street, and sort of, it wasn't just that, it was other things, my spending, where I saw people in the supermarket spending, sort of where they're going, where they're working. I just took in little details every now and then, different people and different places, and I realised that everyone was struggling, and there was a solution that the government should spend more on actual people. Not just services for people who can't use the services, but put the money in the hands of people. Anyway, I got a bit sick of sort of feeling like these ideas and what I've noticed in society is around the 80s that this fair payment sort of dropped off, and it should have kept increasing with inflation. So up until the year 2100, where it should be about $1 million a week or a credit. So $1 million is equivalent to a credit. So by then we'll be buying space cars, all this new technology, all sorts of robots. I mean, we're going to need a hell of a lot more money than what we do now. And I just don't believe everyone will be able to work for that. And I think the only fair way is to provide that increase on a graph where we're sort of just here from the turn of the century, and it's sort of come from here on a slow increase. It should eventually sort of rise up like a curve, right up to about $1 million up here, where it becomes a credit. So it's a new currency. The reason it changes is because the interest in the old currency dies off. The dollar, just like anything, you get sick of stuff, and you're sick of the same old ways, and you have to think of something new. And it ties in with the credit cards as well. You'd have a credit card with a credit on it, and then you use that credit card. You don't actually own the credit, the money they give you. You don't really own it. It's just the value used to sort of, on a credit card, to sort of pay for, a percentage should be taken out of that credit to pay for like a car or shopping or whatever. And it's that's why it's a credit card, because it's a credit. You're not actually giving any money. It's just an exchange barter sort of thing. Because the way money really is, you don't really ever own money. It's always owned by the crown or whatever. You're just exchanging it and working for it, working for a number, so you can exchange it for goods. So I suppose to work it even further is eventually, in a way, you'd use that credit to actually get work as well. So then you can pay back your credit card. So pay back that credit by working, and you pay it back in your taxes. So you get taxed on your income for working, and that pays for your credit on your card. But you're given that credit to get you ahead, and it's there. And if you're in trouble, you need the money. So you could say we have credit cards at the moment, but it just doesn't work for everyone. Not everyone can have them. On low incomes, we can't get them. You can't pay them back. You can't get jobs on them. The credit cards, it doesn't work that way. Like in terms of how a credit would work once you get to a credit. Still, with a dollar, you're still basically given a sum of money to spend on goods and services that you kind of own. That's what a dollar is. It's something you own. So changes after $1 million and turns to a credit, changes to sort of an imaginary number. So you're sort of paying back money that you're sort of imaginary given. So we don't actually need gold bars in a bank to value the money in your hand, because money's sort of valued by how much gold banks own and stuff. So I hope you understand the system there makes sense when in the future we'll need extra money if something happens to us. Say you lose a limb or something in space, have an accident, you can't work, you can't function, you got to have the credit just there to pay for your home, you pay for your food, your entertainment, whatever else you need to, to stay happy. Because Earth, really, the animals are in harmony, humans aren't. We're really damaging the planet with this money out of whack. It's not giving people the chance to get ahead that need to get ahead to do the work to keep the planet safe. We're just basically obliterating it, really, just by corporate. I don't like to use the word fat pigs, but they're greedy. They're wanting too much, not leaving enough for the lower order of society. Probably 50% suffering, the other half from the people who own a home upwards are really really soaring, and we're all struggling probably below that 50%. So it's sort of half and half off kilter. And the sad thing is that other half, this 50%, is we're coming back from the dead. We're coming back to a world and suffering through it again. We should be enjoying it all. And we affect the other 50% really prospering, because, we're caught up in problems and drugs and all sorts of things. Not myself, but other people. I'm probably a lucky one around that middle, around the 50% line, where I'm sort of gone to heaven. I'm sort of in nirvana. I've been such a good person. I've really been treated well, and but I take on a lot of shit from this lower order, and sometimes from above too, because they're affected by the lower order. So I'm caught in the middle, always sort of pushed around, but I deal with it all right, because I'm sort of in a lucky sort of state of being, a healthy mind, a good heart, and a healthy body, and a good family and friends, and I'm doing all right, for someone in my situation. But I wanted to also bring up, what was it? I just thought of it earlier. I can't think of it right now. I'll have to make another video. It's probably enough to digest anyway, but yeah, I wanted to bring up why it actually probably changed, what happened, and why it needs to go back to, a good system. And it's not just for people lower order. Like, everyone should get this payment, every person. So if something happens, and you can't work for whatever reason, you don't lose your home, or you don't, you don't run into strife, and sorry, it's late. But like, every person should have this, it's sort of a safety net payment for if something happens, or you're unable to work, or you've got a disability, or you're ill or whatever. And I mean, even there to help people who run businesses, they often have to take out expensive loans and things, where just the payment would help just to pay for the gaps, Which, I sent a letter off today to government just to get off my chest. It's been bothering me. No one's listening online. I think it's not the right platform. So I sent it off to a few different government people, and hopefully someone listens to it. I mean, it's hard for people to admit fault and say, "Oh, look, we're sorry, we're at fault." Look how much trouble they had, just the Aboriginals trying to get an apology out of the government. But I'm not out for anything more than just fixing that payment that should have always been there, always increasing up into the space age, because it's going to become incredibly hard for anyone who's unwell or ill or gone through trauma or not in a really good club. Like the football guys all probably get on because they're all in a big club, they all support themselves, but not everyone's like that. I think we forget these people on screen are just human like us. We're the same. We're not working out 24/7 a day just to be fit to play footy, but You know, we're still getting out working every day to be good citizens, and we deserve, payment for that, really. And so we can work hard at getting the jobs we need to do to make the world a perfect place to live. I mean, it could be heaven on earth, and at the moment, heaven's all up there. We're just waiting for earth to fix itself up. Heaven can't come to earth. Can't have that harmonious, beautiful world. I'm not saying it's all la-di-da flowers and kittens and stuff. It's always going to be the way it is, but just it's more harmonious. Things work better. Everything's easier and more productive, more efficient, and it's more like a movie experience for the whole world to enjoy, It's not all crash, bang, blow up planes and shit, but it's more like just a good experience where people get to be them with their real self, I've struggled through all the last 20-something years, and I've seen all the opportunities I've had come and go, and I've missed them all because of the way this money is spent. And, it's led me into trouble. I couldn't get a dorm at college. I couldn't even go to the bicentenary, to see the world's bicentennial, see Australia's bicentenary celebration. So I was really upset about that, as a little kid when I was about whatever age, 10 or whatever. I so wanted to go to that. We couldn't afford it, and it was just after the payments dropped off that we couldn't quite afford to go. And and then I couldn't afford, other things growing up. Mum tried to get a job, and Dad did too, and it's just nothing much around. Mum works at hardware, which isn't really probably her forte. I mean, her forte, she was a secretary or something. So, I mean, maybe she could have got a better job owning a business or something. Hardware was all right, just didn't pay much. We always struggled. So I just don't know why we have to struggle so much when there's so much wealth in the country. I mean, it's our wealth. It's not just the government just works for the people. They don't own all the wealth. It's wealth for the whole world. And we do toil, even if we're not getting paid. We're still toiling every day to make the world a good place. Whether it's protecting the kids walking to school, or just purchasing good products from the shops and not throwing garbage all on the street, and whatever we're trying to do to be good citizens, we should be rewarded with the money we need to stay that way and be good citizens, not keep falling into the traps. So anyway, I sent a pretty good letter, I thought, today. Hopefully it is. I put it mostly in dot form. I sort of rabbited on a little bit, but hopefully it gets it off my chest and I get credit for my work I've done. Someone else doesn't pinch it off social media and get the credit, because I think I deserve it. And I hope someone in government or whoever's read all that sees my YouTube. I don't know if they see it or not. Or the Secret Service watches this stuff, or someone, I don't know who, but I think it's important to hear what people have to say. I've been through a lot of trauma and got through the other side. I mean, there's monks in Tibet who worship for doing the same thing I've done, and I just get treated like I'm dirt, and I've survived hell on earth and got through it and gone to heaven, and I think, even that should be celebrated. But I think, it's a great achievement to be able to give this bit of knowledge I've found to the government, to the people, to really make the world how it should be. I'm not trying to make it something it shouldn't be. I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm not trying to get anything for myself. It's just to help the world prosper the way it should be, for everyone. And, in the long run, people will do the jobs they need to do. And I know the question in everyone's mind, what about the Indigenous? Well, they'll be rewarded too, because we'll be able to live more in the sky and sort of leave the planet more for the animals. And the Indigenous love their hunting, and, I know they'll love that sort of stuff still. So maybe give the world a chance to regenerate if we're living more up in the sky. There's so much space up there. I mean, we've got, hundreds of thousands of kilometres of space up there. We just fly through few planes through it. We could live up there, and have space jets that come down and pick up crops or some stuff that we need and go up and live up there. I mean, mostly we live in our homes, and Just go to the shops. I mean, what more do a lot of people do? They go to school, go to work, and go to the shops, and maybe watch the footy. Imagine it's footy in space. You'd have to have big nets up so the footy doesn't go over the. But up in the sky, wouldn't that be cool? Having a football field up in the sky. I don't see why we couldn't do it. You know, looking up it from the Earth, you wouldn't see much. You know, because it'd be up so high. But you could have like cities or citadels up there. You know, like just floating. You know, there's ways to do it. They have to be safe so it wouldn't fall down, of course. But I think once you get above a certain level, the orbit keeps it in space to a certain degree. You could just have things that keep it up there with the wind shifts and stuff. There's physics that there's be physicists that would know. Physicians, scientists that would know what I'm saying. But I kind of understand the science behind it, but that's a whole another story. But yeah. I don't like the idea of the world descending into a water world where we all get covered with water and we have to live on the water. I think it'd be better to have Earth and also live in the air and help regenerate the Earth and the plants and things, because the more trees we cut down, I think we forget that erodes the soil and the beaches, and we're just going to erode our coastlines, because the plants in that grow soil and it pushes out to the coastlines and actually grows with more plant life. We have deserts, it sucks the other way and the coasts recede. It's all just going to become a sand pit. Who's going to want to live there before the water just washes over it, and it's all going to be covered with water if we're not careful. And I just don't think we realise how dangerous that is. We think, I'll only be around 100 years, it doesn't matter, my kids will deal with it. We should have the other attitude. I'm going to be around here again, and I'm going to have to look after this place for my kids, and they're going to have to look after it for me, I had another good point in my mind I was going to mention. I can't think what it is. It's gone. Might be for some reason. Anyway, I'll leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed my little video and my other ones. Some are probably not to everyone's taste, but someone out there must like it, because I'm responding to the love in the world that I receive. So it goes back out there. This is what I'm sending back out as love, and I just hope one day I don't have to do that. I can give that to my wife, and I can enjoy peaceful life with my wife, and I don't have to keep working so hard just to try to get this message out there that things aren't right. It's affecting all our lives, and it's not just war, and it's not just family breakups that do it. It's the money. It's all right for rich people to say, "Oh, I've got excesses of money. My mates fill my wallet up," and what about everyone else? There's 50% out there of the world suffering without a home, without prospects. And it should just be a little bit more generous. And it's not going to bother population. I mean, I think we should all start to migrate to Saturn in the next probably 300 years. So I think Saturn's a perfect place to go. You just mine the rock around the actual sphere that goes around Saturn, the asteroid belt. Mine that, and it will slowly drop into Saturn and create rocky shelves and that to live on. And you grow plants, and it's just a bigger Earth. I mean, I think it's probably the smallest bigger planet, I think, because a lot of it's rock, and it'll, if you drop that to the ground and mine it, not all of it, just little bits, and just settle certain areas, then, anyway, that's another video, but I don't want to go over 20 minutes, but I think that's the aim, head to Saturn, because you don't want to go to Mars, it's done, You can't really fix Mars unless you fix Earth, and the more shit we do to Earth, the harder it is to fix Mars. So got to get Earth and Saturn right to get the resources to fix Mars. We don't have the resources on Earth to fix Mars. You have to get them from Saturn. So anyway, I'm an expert, of course. Anyway, I do think about things. I don't just sit here going, "Buh." I do actually think about a lot of stuff, and it's important. I don't want to always be thinking about a lot of stuff, but anyway, one day we'll have peace and happiness and love. See ya.